What's going on, brother?
Hey, peace, bro. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm fantastic out here. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Just getting it all together, man. We're going to have a great show today, man. We live. We are live, folks. It is the Tipping Point Morning Show. And it is yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe, and my brother from another mother, brother John Yah, Esoteric Concepts family. What's going on with you? How was your week?
Man, peace, brother. It's been always a challenging week, so it's been good. It's been awesome. I can't complain.
What would life be without challenges, right?
I know, right? They always shaping you one way or another. If you look at your challenges and look at your obstacles, didn't it make you better? So you kind of wonder when you're going through it, why am I going through this? But once you get through it and you look back, you're like, yeah, okay, it prepared me for a better world. It prepared me for what's next coming. So, challenges are always there. So you continue to move forward.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's the big thing, man, is getting through these challenges. It's funny. We'll go through one after another. And ultimately, sometimes it takes a person a few times of going through a challenge before they realize, hey, you know what? I don't have to worry because I've come out of every other challenge on top. So, trust the process. You know what I mean? And that's the reality behind it, right?
Yeah, correct. And I mean, for most, we get frustrated with challenges and we stop. And we stop trying to achieve our goals because challenges can make you feel like you're a failure at something that you're trying to accomplish. Well, if you don't look through that, then you never got better. So therefore, challenges for a reason, but not for you to stop and then not continue your goal. So that's the thing. That's some of the stuff that we talked about having focus, not allowing things to take away your focus from your goals and continue to move forward. And like every day should be a challenge to doing one thing towards your goal every day. And that alone is a challenge, but you won't get to your goals until you challenge that.
Absolutely, man. Well, you ready to rock this show today?
Man, let's do it.
All right, let's go. Folks, it is the Tipping Point Morning Show.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yah. Right here on WLOU. Streaming live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Folks, we got a great show going on for you today. And I tell you what, as per usual, we have our segments here that we want to get through. And first up to the plate, folks, he's already smiling. He's backstage smiling because he can't wait to jump up and get to you right now. And that is none other than Mr. Crypto Kenny himself. Folks, once again, it is the Bitcoin campus stepping up to the plate. Brother, how you doing, family?
Oh, man, I'm excited. Anytime I get a chance to spend my Saturday morning with Joe and John, is truly a blessing. As soon as you guys start speaking, I start feeling more energized, so we be pushing
that energy to you, bro. More fire.
Yeah. So every time I come on the show, we usually have like a specific segment that, I would kind of go over, whatever the case may be. But, today I wanted to kind of go over more so of a revelation that I had during the course of the week, because, my job is always to try and make the education aspect of cryptocurrency a little bit more simple, right, to understand. So with that being said, I started breaking down why cryptocurrency is going to be here for the long run. Because even though, because most people are looking at Bitcoin and crypto in terms of just the markets, like what you're trading on, an exchange, what the price of Bitcoin is, but if you're really paying attention to the actual technology, because if you think about things that you trade, those are companies. They're not, you're trading them, but you're really trading companies. So it's like Apple, right? Nobody judges Apple based on what the price of it is on the stock exchange. They judge it by its products, the technology that it has. And the same thing would apply to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, right? So let's kind of dig a little bit deeper into that concept. Now, what social media has done, within the past, 10 years, 20 years, they've opened up globally the concept of communicating with people all across the world, right? Seeing them, communicating with them with no problem. Think about how it was before then. Before then, you couldn't communicate with people on other aspects of the world. If you had a phone, maybe the phone was just in your house, right? They didn't really even have cell phones at one point in time. So,
you didn't know
at
who
that
was on the
time,
other end until you picked up the phone.
there was no caller ID at one specific time. So think about that world that you would be living in. Things are moving a little bit slower. You're using mail to communicate. By the time you find out something from a relative, it could be a week later, 4 days later, 5 days later, whatever the case may be, right? And they'd have to catch you at the house. I'm saying all of these things for a reason. Just stay with me for a second. When you go from a world like that, and let's just think of it as a governing body, let's say the government, like people that are managing everything. Everything is moving a little bit slower for you. And if you have to transfer money from a bank, it's just going to be like, it's going to take like maybe a week, 2 weeks for the money to arrive. You could Western Union the money, maybe do a money order and put it in an envelope and send it out. These are other options that you would really have, right? So now what social media has done is they've opened up that line of communication to a point where, even with FaceTime, you can, I could call Africa and then, somebody pick up and I could walk around their village with them and see everything around them. Opening that aspect of the world up, now you're opening more aspects of the transfer of finances. Think about this. Think deep into this for a second. Before that, the transfer of finances was kind of slow and null and void, and banks would just be like, okay, just wait a certain amount of time, whatever the case may be, it would work. Now you open up that social media component. There's obviously going to be an increase in that for whatever reason, whether it's family being like, it's easier for a family member to say, okay, look, I need this for something. And when people want money, they usually want it right away, right? So now if you can't get it right away, like now I know somebody in China or Japan and they want, we're doing business, right? They want $10,000 or $20,000. If I go through a bank, it's going to take 2 weeks, and take verification, so on and so forth. Think about the technology of cryptocurrency being able to send them $20,000 and it arriving to them in 30 minutes or less. Just fathom the technology itself. Normally transferring that type of funds for whatever reason, let's say it's business, it could be a family member wanting to send something back to their mother or their, folks in another place. It could be love, relationships, traveling. But the concept of needing to transfer funds on a global scale has probably a million X'd when social media has given the opportunity for everybody to communicate and see one another with no problem. Now you're building relationships and feeling like you're right there. Like even with this aspect of StreamYard, like it's almost like I'm in the studio with you guys, right? And everybody's at a different location. So, it's if I meet you in person, yeah, is gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be, it's gonna be great. We'll have more, tangible aspects, at that moment. But it desensitized the fact, like, we're, the concept of seeing somebody and communicating this way has, you get what I'm saying? It's actually gotten to the point where everybody is so connected and so close. So the transfer of funds and receiving funds has increased tenfold. And if you're a governing body, how would you mitigate that? There's so many things happening. There's either fraud, there's, things happening illegally. But again, it's on both sides of the scale. The government will probably find a lot of benefits in being able to transfer funds across the world, and those other people be able to receive it in 30 minutes or less. Think about this. There's a big difference between 30 minutes or less or 2 weeks. It's a big difference. So the technology of cryptocurrency, having that there and available to the public and society, it just makes sense. It makes sense that it wouldn't go away. Because we live in a world where everything that's discovered grows. You find something is constantly being improved, right? It doesn't really go backwards. Sometimes, fashion can go backwards, but normally technology will just constantly be worked on and improved upon. So if you find a technology where I could send you $100,000 and you receive it in 2 minutes, it's not going to be pushed away to the side. That's what happened with crypto. First, it was Bitcoin. You send somebody Bitcoin, they can receive the 100,000, but guess what? It takes 3 hours to 5 hours for them to get. Now then you have other technologies out there that are saying, okay, well, you know what? We can build something that takes only 1 hour. Then you have another company saying, oh, okay, well, we have something that could take, 30 minutes. So now you have all of these companies in the world of crypto competing against each other to do things differently in that realm. So if you can understand that aspect of cryptocurrency and really digest that in your brain, you'll really understand, look, this thing ain't going nowhere. The paying attention to just like the numbers of what the price of Bitcoin is or Ethereum, it'll kind of like throw you off behind understanding what the technology is and where we're going. Even with the metaverse and virtual reality, if you're in a situation where in Call of Duty or Roblox or, any of these games, your kids are asking you for money to buy things in a video game, right? Now, if you go into virtual reality and you could be in different places of the world, if you have to purchase something inside that video game, normally it would probably take you out the video game, put you in a place where you got to put your card information in, all of this stuff, right? Just think about where we were. Wouldn't it make sense to further develop a technology where the money's already in there and you don't have to leave the video game? It could be almost like you're just purchasing it on the spot. Boom. And you just go along your day in the video game. That's connected to cryptocurrency and the metaverse and where we're going with this whole technology thing. So if people really understand that, they can really dive deeper into that concept. But once I've, started thinking about that, I became a little bit more passionate about why it's not going anywhere. I mean, I love the technology, I see it, but understanding what social media has done to the world in terms of communication, relationships, business development, whatever, social media has really opened up Pandora's box, and cryptocurrencies, it would just make sense to be able to transfer and receive funds in a very quick manner.
You're muted, Joe. You are muted.
Absolutely. Okay. This is the type of information that is talked about a lot when it comes to the Bitcoin campus. These are conversations that are had. So when people have these questions, then it's a collaborative, a collective of people that help to answer these questions. So this isn't something that anyone has to think about alone. This is, in getting in touch with the Bitcoin campus, then you have the ability to communicate with other people that are most likely thinking along those same lines. And that's the beauty behind what you created with the Bitcoin campus. And so, as you see it here, folks, again, and those are conversations. Hey, first thing about that, red pill, blue pill. That's what that makes me think of. Most definitely. I get on the kids now about buying fake stuff inside the video games right now. But with that in mind, then I guess it's a situation to where they're eventually, like you said, it's going to go there. So appreciate bringing that conversation forth and all the things that the Bitcoin Campus offers, folks. Again, if you want to learn more about crypto, this whole metaverse world and how crypto involves itself in today's society, then go hit up the tippingpointshow.com, click on our partners link, and you can go ahead and sign up to the Bitcoin Campus. And guess what? You'll get it for half the price than you normally would if you just go through the Tipping Point Show. All right. Appreciate you, family.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Peace.
All right, man. It is next up, Leonard Walker with the Stock Spotlight right here on the Tipping Point Morning Show. What's going on, family?
Hey, what's happening? What's going on, man? How you doing? How y'all doing?
All right.
Good. Got my pen and paper ready.
I hear you. I've got 3 stocks here. Once again, not just under $50, not just under $20, but under $15.
Woo!
They pay dividends. All right. So let's get it going here. The first one we're going to talk about Triple Point Venture. Triple Point Venture, and that ticker symbol is Tango Papa Victor Golf, TPVG, Tango Papa Victor Golf, and they trade on the New York Stock Exchange. This one is going for $13.47 per share. It pays a $1.44 per share, a yearly dividend per share. And it pays quarterly, it pays 36 cents per quarter. It has a dividend yield of 10.96%, almost 11% dividend yield. Its 52-week high was $19.25, and its 52-week low is $11.86. Just a quick, you can look up this company for yourself, but just a quick overview. This is just a business development company that funds a bunch of different projects and different things out there to help develop other businesses there. That's what they do. It was founded in 2013, and one of the key things about this is for the past 4 years, during ups and downs in the market, recessions and everything else, it's paid this 36 cent per quarter dividend per share per quarter for the last 4 years. So we got some consistency there in this particular stock. So, you don't see a lot of fluctuation there in the last 4 years. So that's pretty good. The next one we get ready to go to is called Hercules Capital. That's right, Hercules Capital. Okay, its ticker symbol is HTGC, which is Hotel Tango Golf Charlie. Hotel Tango Golf Charlie, traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This one here also goes for $14.01 is what it closed at on Friday per share. It has a $1.40 dividend per share per year, and it pays quarterly at 35 cents a quarter. Also, we have its dividend yield was showing about 9.99%, but I'm gonna jump it up to 10 because all it takes for that stock to go down or go up or fluctuate. So it's pretty close to 10%. 52-week high was $18.72. 52-week low was $12.50. The keys. All right, this company here is a specialty finance company, provides secure loans to venture capital backed and institutional backed companies in a variety of technologies, life sciences, renewable energy, that sort of thing. So it's pretty advanced company. Founded in 2003. Now here's the thing about this one. All right, for the past 2 years, since 2000, for about almost 2.5 years, let's call it, since 2020, it's not only paid a 36-cent dividend, a 35-cent dividend, but it's also paid like a 15 or 12-cent special dividend. All right, so it's actually paying 2 dividends per quarter instead of 1. All right, for the past 2 years, it's been doing that. So that's something you might want to look at. So instead of 35 cents, it may pay 50 cents. It may pay 46 cents. It may pay 65 cents. It all depends on what the special dividend is. But that's what it's been doing for the last 2 years. So that's a pretty good one. And finally, we're going to go to our last one. This is Rhythm Capital. Let me spell Rhythm for you. That's RITHM. RITHM.
Man,
right?
I was hoping it was gonna be Rhythm, like RIDDIM, and I was gonna
Like
be like,
Rhythm?
you're not the Jamaican company, them.
There you go. All righty. So its ticker symbol is RITM. That is Romeo India Tango Mike. Traded on the New York Stock Exchange. We have it's going for $9.33, under $10. There we go, per share. It pays a $1 per share dividend. It has a 25 cents per quarter dividend payout, and it has a 10.72% yield, dividend yield. 52-week high was $11.81. The 52-week low was $7.97. And this also is a stock that is undervalued. The book value of this stock, the book value per share, goes for $14.98, almost $15 per share. So buying this stock is buying it at a discount once again. This company is an MREIT. It used to be known as New Residential Investment Corporation, all right, but it rebranded and reorganized for the better. It did some things financially to streamline some of its stuff, and what the reports are saying is that this was a good move, especially now when you're looking at interest rates going up for mortgages and different things. So this may be something you want to look at. This was founded in 2011. All right, right quick. I discovered something here that I was looking at yesterday. If you guys don't know about it, maybe look into it, but I found a dividend tracker. Okay. Why is a dividend tracker important? Because you can load all of your stuff into this tracker, and it tracks the progress of your dividends. It shows how diverse your portfolio is. It shows what the payouts are in the future, all of that. So it's a pretty good thing. The one that I found is simple. It's called the Dividend Tracker, and it's a website. In order to get the services, it's a premium service of $100 per year. All right, which is $8 a month, or $10 a month if you want to go monthly. There are probably some that are out there free. I will look into that. My fear about something that's free is that free things usually have advertisements. Okay, so in these advertisements, you don't know where they come from or what's being loaded. So you don't want maybe your information to get corrupted. So this may be something you may say, you know what, let me just take a chance and just do something secure. But yeah, if you, like I said, if you pull it up, Joe, so that people can look at the Dividend Tracker. It's got a lot of good features there. Like I said, I just downloaded it last night and paid the fee, and I got my stuff loaded up on there. So
yeah, I'm gonna jump on that, and I definitely think that that's something that our guest will love. Man, that is a valuable piece of information right there, man. I'm glad we nudged you towards this dividend look, man, because I tell you what, these dividends are dope. I mean, when y'all really sit back and think about it, think about just these three right here, and I ain't gonna let you mess me up on the math this week. But just these three right here, you look at them, you add it up, that's 96 cents. Okay, so 96 cents coming a quarter. Let's say you buy 100 of those, you got $96 coming every quarter, 4 times a year. So you talk almost $400. And look, this is just at the pricing we're talking about now. So think about it. Could you use an extra $400 a year? You know, think about when you were short. And guess what? Let it go back into the dividends, or you know what? Create a rule. Say, look, I'm gonna take 50% out, and I'm gonna put 50% back in. All right, cool. Do that. Guess what? Times that times 10 years. Think about that, folks. Times that times 20 years. Money that you ain't really worried about. Just let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. I think there's a song out there. I don't know, but I'm just telling y'all, this is some good stuff. And right here on the Tipping Point Morning Show, we discuss this every Saturday. Leonard with the Stock Spotlight family, we appreciate you, brother.
All righty. I appreciate you too. And then just to add what Joe was saying is if you take 50% and 50% you hold and 50% you add, and as it adds up, as it increases, so does that 50% increase. So you're actually compounding your interest on that. So.
Exactly. That 50% increases. I'm telling you, man, this is all just good stuff, and people need to really, really take advantage of this, because this is retirement. This is the ability to live comfortably 20, 30, 40 years down the road. So y'all youngins, y'all better be listening up, and I'm telling you, you better put that money towards it. So again, next week, family, we'll see you once again.
Peace.
All right, folks, we're going to jump to commercial real quick, and then we're going to come right back. Hey, shout out to Jocelyn Landers. Appreciate you, family. Shout out to Vicky Irvin. Hey, Mr. Walt knows money. Got to get you back on and have another conversation, bro. We're going to do it once again and get you on for the crypto spotlight as well. Hey, and shout out to you, Tiandra Washington. She was having a great conversation with Pierre and you last night on y'all had a great topic y'all talking about. I wanted to touch on it, but maybe we will, maybe we won't. But either way, we'll be right back, folks. Again, it is the Tipping Point Morning Show. Don't go nowhere.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap, sticks, and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeh. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
What's going on, folks? Yes, man. I'm over here making a mess on myself, drinking up this God's goodness right here. I've got some man. I got everything in here. I got kale. I got all different type of fruits, blueberries, strawberries. Used my Vitamix Whole Foods blender. to create a 100% bioavailable liquid that even my shirt loves. I tell you what, it's that good. But folks, right now we are bringing to the stage Lady Brazilianaire with 5 Minutes in Financing right here on the Tipping Point Morning Show. And let's see, she's got to tell us this week. I'm going to put it out there. She's got to tell us this week all about any tutorials or training or anything that she has going on this week. I want to hear about that first. Anything.
I always forget to tell you, and I'm just like, I forgot again. So, but first, good morning, everybody. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you again for. So this month, I don't have any coming up. However, if anyone watching, listening, who would like to leverage or learn about business credit, please, please, please contact me. You can follow me on Instagram at the Lady Brazilianaire. Click the link in my bio, and then you will see Business Credit 101. Or you can go to my website, www.heather-weatherspoon.com, and send me an email, and I will get back with you. So, gentlemen, today's 5-minute tip is going to be about this little wooden box that you see me have here. So this is going to be our shoe box, okay? I'm going to talk about the shoe box effect. So this actually coincides with what Brother Leonard was talking about and what some of single mothers can do, or just people in general. So I'm going to use my gloves as money. This money is going to be your $5, okay? So you can do this one or two ways. If you still pay with cash, every time you get a $5 bill back, 1, 2, or 3, take that 5, put it in your box, and leave it, okay? Or you can do $5 a day, or you can do $5 once a week, once a month, what have you. So what is that going to do for us? Well, as Brother Leonard mentioned, you can use that to buy more stocks, or you can use that if you want to go on a vacation, or you can use it to pay off a debt or a credit card bill or what have you. Or like me, I just want to use it because I want a new Louis Vuitton bag. So that is my 5-minute tip for today. Start you a shoebox collection of nothing but $5 bills, not gloves.
There you go. Hey, folks, it's 5 Minutes in Financing with Heather Weatherspoon, Lady Brazilianaire. We appreciate you. Don't forget, hit her up, Lady Brazilianaire, on Instagram. You can click the link. You know, I went through the business course as well. It's fantastic for business credit. You need to do it, whether you're starting out or whether you've been in business. It doesn't matter. It's good information, even as a reminder that, hey, I forgot I could do this to help with business credit as well.
And I have some more information for you, but be checking out in the group.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Tell us about that shirt you're wearing.
So Black Spas Matter. So I am in the it's a Black Spa group. It's for any person, man or woman, who is in the spa industry. Okay. So as you all know, I have a salon. I have a salon suite, a private salon, and then also a salon in Texas, Arlington, Texas. So if you are in the spa industry or beauty industry, you can also contact me, and I will help you start up your 6-figure business on how to properly and successfully own a beauty school, barbershop, or a beauty salon.
That's awesome.
That's what's up right there, folks. You heard it first here on the Tipping Point Morning Show with Lady Brazilianaire. Till next time.
Bye.
Peace. Awesome, man. Awesome. Good stuff. Always love our beginnings there in the morning, because we've always got some good stuff going on. Lots of great information. And I tell you what, good stuff. See, Jocelyn Lander, she said, ooh. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about right there. As long as we can give some people the ability to grow, you know, and that's what this is. That's what these segments are. That's what this show is about, is giving people the ability to grow. Shout out to you, Satya Myers there. Good stuff.
Sayatia.
Okay. All right. I be trying, man. Sometimes it don't always come out right.
Yeah, just the T's absent. Or the T is silent.
The first T. Got you. Awesome. So good stuff there. Man, so you know, we were talking last week about business, and I thought I really enjoyed the show, going through your business and production and how you started, how you created from A to Z. Soon I'm gonna have you over here helping me create some stuff just the same, because I'm I got containers in, I'm getting oils in, and working on product, and then I've got an order in right now for an actual in the U.S. company that is going to send me some bottles, and I'm going to be getting it at some really great pricing, which was surprising because it is a in U.S. company, but they're a big warehouse out of Florida that houses a bunch of stuff. I see the ability to go forward with all different type of products, focusing on the oil smell goods line of things. So I'm gonna show you that as well, because it might be something you might want to look at. But nonetheless, labels is my next thing, and I'm gonna be talking to you about that. But when we start talking about just the creation of business, and this is something that if Lady Brazilianaire wants to jump back on, she definitely is helpful in this conversation as well. But the creating of business, starting up, when it comes to any business out there, then what do you think one of the first things you need to know and do to start a business?
First, I always say, have the ideal that you want. Know your ideal before you start the business. Take your ideal and research it. It's nothing like researching your craft or whatever it is you're trying to create or do. Research who's out there already doing it, if someone else is doing it, what are the names and how they're formulating their product. It's very important before you start a business. When you have a product that you're sure of, you feel good about, it has to be something you like doing yourself, first of all. It's nothing like trying to sell a product you don't like. You don't have no motivation for it, right? So once you kind of find the product that you're looking for, now you need to come up with a name. Maybe so much not as a name of a product, or the name of the product, but the name of the business. Some people name their business after the name of the product, which is not that good if you're planning on bringing in more products, right? Because now you got more products, and now you got this one name of the company that shows the same name. And that's cool if that's the only product you're going to be rocking with. But once you come up with a name of a product or / name of your business, first thing you need to do is go research the name. Make sure it ain't taken, right? I mean, you may have to add something to the name if it is taken. Then the first thing you want to do is go buy you a domain. Go to GoDaddy, one of the domain companies, and domains ain't number $4, So if you hit and miss and feel like you buy a domain you don't use, it's no big deal, it's just $4. But you want to do is buy your domain first, because if you start a business and you put that name out there and they don't see a website, somebody can go buy the domain and hold it. And then when you go and try to use that domain or try to buy it, you can't buy it. Now you got to either buy it from them or start all over again with adding some initials or something to the website, like so-and-so-online.com, right? Everybody wants the .com. Nobody really wants the .net, because the .com is more common and more people use it, right? So once you do your search and you find that name is available, buy it. It doesn't matter whether you may change that name later. That's okay. Again, it's just $4, right, for the domain. Buy it for 1 year. If you do use it, then you can go and secure it for 5 years and hook it up to your account to where you never lose that domain. Because here's why. Domains are important. Domains are not IPs. In other words, let's say, for instance, when the internet started, the white boys that was called Silicon Valley These white boys was buying up domains. So let's say, like, for instance, I go buy a domain, Ford.com, GE, GeneralElectric.com. They don't own that. So if I go online and I go buy Ford.com, FordOnline.com, I can buy a bunch of Ford stuff. And if they try now want to create a website and they see, oh, Ford.com is taken. Oh, FordOnline.com is taken, right? So now this is where the money comes in. They will buy that domain from you for no telling how much money based upon how much the company is worth, because I've seen some domains costing $2 or $3 million, right? Because someone owns it and they're owning of the number of a name of a company that they're holding, hoping that that company buy it from them. That's how it works. So you can buy domains, you can see somebody's company and you start seeing it. And I want to talk about algorithms in a minute and talk about how that works. So if you go on GoDaddy and you push in that domain and you don't buy it and you go back and do it again, you can find that domain is taken because somebody's watching you click into the domain and looking at it, coming back and looking at it. Now someone else done bought it and hoping you come back and see it bought, then they're going to sell it to you, right? So once you come up with the name, go buy the domain, see if the domain's available and go buy it. And that way, if you ever want to down the road come up with so-and-so.com, boom, you own it. So that I would say that's the first thing to do. First, come up with your product. What is your ideal? What is it that makes you happy? Don't start a business that doesn't make you happy, right? This is the vibration that you want. You want a product that solves a problem. Absolutely, you want a product that solves the problem. If you're an inventor and you go and try to get a patent, one of the questions on the patent, one of the first question is, what is the problem you're trying to solve, right? Because if you have a product, you go on to try to solve a problem, that will determine how much money you can make, because that determines the category is going in and the problem you're trying to solve to reach the people that are going to be interested in that product. So first, come up with the product. Figure out what you want to do, that you want to sell, or that you want to offer the world, and everything's a service. No matter what business you have, it's about serving people. And so once you come up with the name, go research the name, see if it's available, see if it's out there for you, and then go buy the domain if the domain's available. Boom. And then you go and get your tax ID, right? Which is simple. You can Google the information, but I tell you, you're going to find some website that will sell you a tax ID. What they're doing is you go into that website and they're going to register your ID with the IRS anyway. So what you want to go is just go to straight to IRS.com and you can register and get your IE free. Don't cost you nothing.
IRS, the IRS, IRS.gov.
Correct.
And I think .com will take you there as well. But IRS.gov, and ultimately, that's the way I've always done it. Now, what I learned here recently is to register my business name with the state first, and then go back. Backwards.
You go get the feds first. The state automatically gets the info and they're going to send you the information. You ain't got to send the state nothing. They're going to follow what the government do. If you go and get you a tax ID with the IRS, immediately that state is going to send you the information already signed and ready to go with your state, whether your business is free, they're going to automatically send it. So you went backwards. You went and did the state first and did that.
See, and that's what I've always done, was go to IRS.gov first.
Right.
But here recently, I was on the phone with an IRS personnel, and they told me otherwise. They said they told me that I did it backwards, that I should have went to the state, registered first, and then came back. Because you're right, when you go to irs.gov, you're going to get a letter in the mail from the state saying, hey, you registered this name, and
correct.
You need to go ahead and solidify it here with the
state. Exactly. So it really saves you time. And I have several tax IDs. And so it really saves time when you do it that way. Boom. And the state now looking for you. The state is looking for you, saying, hey, you registered with the feds, you owe us some money. And so that's how it works. They'll start looking for you. So that saves the time of going that way and going that other way. So I'm glad you clarified that, because the state will follow whatever the IRS is doing.
Absolutely.
Now, here's a trick to that. here's a little trick. Now, and I hate this, I'm gonna put it out there. So you can go and get you a tax ID. You have a federal tax ID. Do you know that when the state sends you that information, you can send it back and decline and still hold on to your federal tax ID? Yes, you can. And still use that federal tax ID in business transactions.
Okay. For the people in the back that didn't hear it, say it one more time.
Okay, so if you go and register with the IRS for a tax ID, EIN number, the state will send you information saying, hey, we see that you have registered for an employment number. Here's the information you need to start paying your taxes. Send them a letter and just say, I ain't started no business. When I do, I'll let you know. You will still be holding on. You will still be able to keep the EIN number. And you don't have to give it up. You don't have to let it go. You keep it and you can use it. And nobody's questioning you. Nobody's coming and say, hey, you still using this number? Why ain't you paying taxes on it? So they'll never come knocking on your door. Like we had talks before about the IRS don't come looking for you. They're not going to ask you any questions. And yet you have and you can open up a bank account with that same number and still operate as a business. And the state is kind of separate from it. And that's the difference.
Exactly.
That's just a secret. But anyway, that's a secret. I'm not saying I use it, but I'm telling you it works, right?
Kari Muhammad said Kentucky has a one-stop site where you can do it all at once. Absolutely. And earlier when you were talking about
I want to know what the hell you doing.
Exactly. And they make it easy for you to fall into that. As you were talking earlier, he said he had to pay $1,600 for his domain from a company in China.
I wouldn't have paid it. I would have created another domain. There's no way I would have paid it. I would have created another one. I would have detoured that, because that's what happens when you're trying to buy. Domains are cheap, you know that, right? And so why would I go through that if I can just, like I said, that's why it's first. Me and you talked about something a while back. And what was I telling you? Go buy the domain. Because as people start hearing you talk about business and talk about it, you online, somebody done already purchased that domain. And this is where the algorithms comes in. And let me use this point of view real quick. So we know what algorithms are. We know how it works, how it follows you on your computer, and then it starts sending you information that you like and click on. So in other words, if you own social media, Facebook, whatever, and you click videos like whatever of a fight, street fights, right? What happens is the algorithm begins to say, hey, this is what you like, and it sends you more. Doesn't that sound familiar? Sound almost like the subconscious mind and what it wants, and it can constantly get. So they're following you around with this information. In China, they don't do it that way. It's just a little different. So in other words, if you put something out there, something's following you based on your likes and what you're clicking, and it sends you more of the things you like. Okay, so you have to watch what information you put out on social media. Once you get to talk it, like we talk about, once that frequency is out there, it's out there. It is more out there when you put it on social media and you tell your ideals and you on here typing in your ideals. It's easy for someone to steal your information and get in front of you and go buy a domain and hold it. So that's why I said it's very important to understand your name, the name you want to use. Now it depends on how important it is, the name, because you can always come in and say, well, johnsoandso.com is taken, but what about John so-and-so online or John so-and-so something else? You got to figure something else. You got to be creative if you're stuck on that certain name, but somebody owns it and won't give it to you. I know somebody just went and did .net, right? Went around it and said, I'm not paying y'all $2,000. No, I'll just go around you and do something this way. So you got to figure it out. But no way I would have paid $1,600 for a domain.
That's what I did with justaskjoe.net and circumventing somebody else's .com.
Correct.
Whoever that Just Ask Joe was is, not as great as me.
Right.
So I went ahead and did the .net, and that traffic does what it does.
Yes.
But yeah, absolutely right. Heather, Miss Lady Brazilian, she wanted to jump on. She has some things as well. I've been trying to get her attention for the last 10 minutes, sending her text messages and private chat messages to ask her. I didn't want to just pop her up on the screen and whatnot, but here she is. She's got a couple things that she wants to add to this conversation. Go ahead, sis. Tell us some more.
So John, I definitely agree with everything you were saying. I don't know if you could see me in backstage. I was like, yes, everything. So my two things. The domain, of course, as you said, is very important. Not only do I own the domain to my business, but I own my name. So as you heard me say, my website is www.heather-weatherspoon. That's my name. So why did I do that? Well, people want to know, well, who was the owner of Exquisite Links Beauty and Brow Bar, Exquisite Beauty Institute? Who is this person? Oh, it's her. Well, let's go find who she is. And people will do that. They will go behind your back. Oh, well, I'm just going to buy her name. And that's not who that is. I am that person. I'm behind everything. So not only do I own the domain to all of my brands, but I also own my name too. So no matter if you Google my business, you're going to find me. If you Google me, you're going to find my business. I'm like the first 3 or 4 pages on Google. So no matter what you do, you're going to see me. Number 2, beta test your products. As you were saying, John, you want to do something that you have a passion for, something that you love to do. There's no point in you making a business or creating a business and you don't love what you do.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure we all know somebody or some people who have created a product or who I want to sell this for that MLM company, and they hate it. They absolutely hate it. So it's very important that you do a beta test. Anytime you go on Shark Tank, what do they always ask you? Well, is this product already being sold? Is it already in stores? You have to give them that information. Yes, we have tested this with 1,000 parents or 1,000 couples or what have you. And 50% said they liked it. 20% said they didn't like it. The other percent said they would liked it, but change this. You got to do a beta test. This also helps you bring light to you and to your brand. This helps you be a better business owner and learn how to take constructive criticism. So yes, beta test and own your name.
That's right. That's awesome. That's right. So I'm sure when we're talking, I'm going to ask you a question, and I know I don't know if I asked you this before about people who start a business. They may have already started a business, but they didn't do the groundwork good enough, and they don't know how to price their service. I'm sure you ran into individuals that have came to you and probably did some work for you and said, pay me what you can, or pay me whatever.
Right.
And you, what are you worth? What do you want? And they can't give you the answer.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All the time. And, and I look at them and I said, well, what are your credentials? You said, well, pay me whatever. Okay, well, I'm looking at your work. Are you consistent? Are you dependable? Are you giving me my information in a timely manner? 24 to 48 hours, 72 at the most. I'm a very busy person. So I need for you to be as quick as I am. So if you want me to pay you $100 an hour, then I'm going to need for you to show me what that looks like. Particularly what I do, I like, as you all know, save money, of course. I like to help people who are in college. I like to help them build their portfolios because somewhere along the line, I'm going to end up hiring you on my team. So let me go ahead and mold you per se, or to see what you're about. Let me see if you've actually been paying attention to your professors. 80% of the time, I do hire them on. The other ones, you can do a little bit more work. But yes, I typically get them when they're babies, when they're fresh out of college, and that's how I help them.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I tell you. So, when you really think about it, as we talk about starting a business, why doesn't everyone start their own business? Why doesn't everyone focus on, well, let's not say everyone, but I know you guys have seen and heard plenty of people who have had great ideas and stuff like that, and they've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talked about it, and then they talked about it and talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kept talking about it and talking about it, but they just never started. Like, you know, do you think it's a lack of information, or do you think it's a lack of passion? You know, why do you think most people, and we can officially statistically say, why do you think most people that have a business idea don't start their business?
Well, you have two people in the world. You have thinkers and you have doers. Okay. Those are thinkers. Okay. We're doers. It's a big difference. Number two, majority of the time when you hear people just keep talking, they're either looking for somebody to take it over and do it for them, or they just want you to give them all the information and so they can sit back and say, yes, I did it. No, you didn't do anything. I did it. But again, as we talked about earlier, it's mindset. A lot of people are afraid because there's so much information and they don't know where to start. This is where you hear the old people say, closed mouth don't get fed. Open your mouth. Ask me. If you need help and I can help you, then okay. If I can't help you, then I'm going to direct you to someone who can. But majority of the people, they are afraid to ask for help. They want to start the business, but they're afraid. And so they look for somebody else to do it for them.
One of the things I'd say is that the reason that people don't have an idea and they don't start a business, there's two parts to this right here. One is a business ain't for everyone. And just because you have an idea doesn't mean it has to be a business, if that makes sense, right? And so you can have an idea and still be working for someone. If you don't want to start your own business, you're still valuable to someone and what you're bringing to the table. Okay, number one. And I think there's a reason why most people don't do it is because most people have not do the homework and first completing the ideal in their brain first. And so it is like we talked about the ability to have focus and to have a goal. Right. So a goal is something that you see tangible in your head. It doesn't exist in this dimension, but it's in your head. You have to have full awareness of it. You have to have it complete. If you have a product in your head, you have to have the whole product complete. The color, the size, the look, everything all the way around before you can bring it into existence. And the reason people don't go fully because they are either two things. Either they really don't believe in it, or they don't have the passion to bring it into this existence. So because it takes work. You cannot just think of something and not move forward towards it. But the key is that most people do not give it full attention because why? There's too many things distracting it. So if I was to ask a person, well, what is your ideal? How often do you think of that ideal? I was just having a conversation with someone the other day, and you asked this question to many people. What do you see yourself in 5 years from now? And so you can hear a vague statement, or you can hear a detailed statement. If you hear a vague statement, that means that person really don't know. If you hear a detailed statement, a detail means how they look. What do they look like? What kind of car they're driving? What kind of home they're driving? Yes, we're talking material things, but this becomes how you see yourself. How you're going to get there don't matter at this point. Do you see yourself with abundance? Do you see yourself in living this type of lifestyle? So you have to see it. You have the ideal of what you want to be here is one thing. Okay, I want to be a business person. Okay, but you don't know what type of business person you want to be. But here you see yourself living a lifestyle that you want to live, whether you living on a yacht, whether you're living in a mansion, whatever it is, see it first in here. And so that is the part that people really don't get. They don't get to use the visualization in the brain, because sometimes people will assume that if you try a goal and they're afraid of failure, they feel hopeless. Because they think the failure, they're afraid to challenge anything new because they're afraid to fail. So why not just go get a job? Now, again, I'm not knocking jobs because why? You can have a talent or a skill that you're servicing someone else. But at the same time, that talent or skill can be something you can create 8. But if you don't want to do the work, you don't want to do all the paperwork and learning this and learning how to sell, learning marketing, because it's a big task in having a successful business. It ain't just you thinking about it. You better learn some marketing. You better learn sales. You better learn management. You better learn accounting. That takes work. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. Fuck it. I just go to work for 8 hours and come home, drink my beer, smoke a joint, and watch a game. Right? Because here's the thing. If you in business for yourself, you eat and sleep your business. You're fucking thinking about your business 24/7. There is no going home, clocking out. A lot of us have what is called 8-hour mentality. And this is why it's hard to leap to an entrepreneurship, because entrepreneur is not an 8 hour. You wake up thinking business till you go to bed thinking business. When you work for yourself, there is no breaks. Right? You enjoy this creativity. I enjoy creating. It's a part of who I am. So there is no, I take a break. If I'm on vacation, I'm still thinking business. I'm thinking of a new product. Oh, look at that. Oh, I can create that. So you got to have that mindset. And that mindset is the key to success, but you got to have that mindset.
I even think about the business when I'm sleeping.
Right.
I wake up and go, oh, it's 2:30. Oh, 2:30. It's 230. What can I sell and get that much? Wait, okay. Oh,
But they have that what is called 8-hour mentality. And when you're self-employed, there is no 8 hours. You ain't got time to watch a game unless you done already complete your task.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. And then too, on top of that, I would say support being another thing, because a lot of people, I've seen people with great ideas, but they have a support system that doesn't support them with their ideas, So I think, one thing, especially relationships, what's the number one cause for divorce when it comes to marriage is money, right? So naturally, women believe in security, right? And in this day and age, what have people been taught about security? It's job, right? The 40-40 club, right? 40 hours a week, 40 years of your life. With that in mind, then having support is majorly important. And I'm gonna tell you, when you start talking some of those millionaire guys, then some of those guys, they'll sit there and tell you, look, I had to let mine go and focus on creating the everything that I wanted first, to give me the ability to go back.
Yeah, I think Heather got to go. Heather's got to go. I think she's got a client just walked in. I saw the information. So see you later, sis. Appreciate you.
All right, sis. Appreciate you. And that's it. It takes a certain type of focus, and there's a lot of people don't have that. And when it comes to support, not everybody has that support to be able to go dive in. I know when my dad did it, man. I mean, growing up, he had a few different ideas in business and stuff like that. And when I look at him now, he went back to, kind of his root, which was, IT and electronics. There's a lot of things that he does for his passion outside of work. But when it comes to, his job, and he's excelled so much in that, but he had the support to be able to do that, the support to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and study and and get this other certification so that I can grow in my IT field. So that brings more money, which essentially gives him the opportunity to focus even more on passions, like playing the sax and everything else that they do. But, having the support. And so if you feel like you don't have the support, then sometimes you may have to say, I need to go get the support. So that's surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah. And I'd say that don't look for support from your family first. Oh, please don't do that. If it happens, it's really good and a blessing if it happens from your family. But you want to be broader. You want to be more broader than that when it comes to your support. And support can be based upon whether or not do they like what you're offering. Okay, if I like what you're offering, I'm gonna support you. But understand this: support will come from the strangest people. Well, support will come from people who don't even know you, that just met you. So you got to understand that, and you got to be willing to accept support from others. And so sometimes we have a blind eye, we blinded. And so we're blinded by what social media and what things we were told about certain people. Like I give you an example. If you was to go meet somebody and you told me, hey, I'm going to meet so-and-so. I said, hey, I know so-and-so. And man, watch them. They'll do this to you and they'll try to do that to you and they'll try to do that. Now I done toxified your brain before the meeting. So now you go into the meeting with a toxic view, looking for the things I told you about the individual, but the individual never treated you and showed you none of that. But you walked around with that toxic view, right? And so now you possibly can go in a meeting with that attitude and block your support. Block somebody that will really be there for you because you listen to a hater that tells you about someone else that didn't treat you the way they treated them. And we'll carry that information to the next meeting. And so we just think about that mindset of why we can't have support. I think that if you truly don't have support at all, you probably need to look inside yourself and ask, why can't I get people to support me? What is it about me that I put out there that is so toxic, nobody wants to support me? Now, family is one thing because, see, family are stuck in who you were. Then they don't know who you are, who you're trying to be. Family are the worst people because they're going to want to keep you in the mindset of who they know you as from their subconscious mind, while you done already moved and transitioned into a new life. But imagine if you have no support, nobody's backing you up. You got to ask yourself, do you even like yourself? Because that's the energy you're putting out. If you're putting that energy out, I ain't getting no support. But first, do you support you? Because love of self is the first way to gain love from others. If you don't love yourself, you can't get no one to love you. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Man, now that's important stuff right there. And you're getting into a mindset shift when you start talking some of this stuff. And, you know, it's good that we talk about it because these are the behind the scenes stuff that people don't talk about when it comes to business, the things, the thought process, the mindset, everything that people just don't talk about when it comes to business. You know, I mean, and even, you know, as we talked about starting a business, you know, talking to, you know, our brother Diego, you know, he talks a lot about investing in business, you know, so he's from that standpoint. So he's like an entrepreneur. You know, they focus on the creation, you know, they're from beginning to end focusing on the business in that perspective. But when you start talking, you know, him as an investor, you know, his thing is he goes and he looks at the numbers and he wants to invest in the business. And so then he'll have multiple different investments going on in multiple different businesses. But that entrepreneur spirit is just something that, you know, cannot be replaced at all, and it's something that you have to have when you're starting up a business. I mean, I guess people can start up something that maybe they're not that passionate about, but they know that it just will make money. But at the same time, as Earl Nightingale has said plenty of times, I think it was Earl Nightingale, or it might have been your other boy, Napoleon Hill. But typically anyone will say, if you are focused on creating a business surrounded around something that you love, that you're passionate about, then, you know, it's not like a job or anything. It's not like a bit, you know, you're going to work to have fun.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You wake up every day having fun. So that's good stuff there, man. You know, and I'm gonna just ask if you cool with this, but I love going down your timeline. You know what I mean? You know, just shifting the conversation a bit. You always have an interesting. I mean, I be wondering sometimes, do you just have somebody else that just focuses on finding things and posting it on your timeline for you, because you always have some great stuff on your timeline. And yesterday there was something about Candace Owens that I thought was great. But the thing that popped in my head is, why do so many people hate Candace Owens? Why is that? Because all I see is her spitting the truth. Now, there was a time that I heard what Candace Owens said. No, there was a time that I saw on social media sound bites, clipped videos of what Candace Owens would say.
Correct.
And then it wasn't until my mindset started to shift and I started to do something that a lot of people don't do, which is go research for the whole video, the whole topic, the whole conversation, and then really see how the media takes things, chops it up, and then people put it out there for their own perspective or what have you, the vibrations that they're feeling and putting out there. But this video right here, if you don't mind, I'm gonna show this.
Yeah, that's what.
And I think this would be dope. But again, it just reins in, why do people hate her so much when I feel like the only thing she's doing is speaking the truth?
Yep.
So let's just get into it. And then after we get into this, I'm going to show another video that you posted that kind of backs up what she's saying. All right. So we'll get into this real quick, folks. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom.
Men in the world, right? But men are crappy because we've created a system where manhood has become obsolete. You keep increasingly telling men more and more they can't matter. When I say, who are they being told that by? They're, like I said, there's more sinister implications here of why we're making manhood obsolete. When we're saying masculinity is wrong, this is backwards. You don't need a man. You can just have a baby without a man. You're starting to see that sort of programming happening with young women. When you're telling women to act like men, you should aspire to the things that men naturally might aspire to. When you remove the more natural feeling of men being providers and women being nurturers, which is a beautiful yin and yang that just works, right? So you're creating men to feel obsolete, and then women are complaining because men aren't being men. It doesn't work that way, right? And not only that, then increasingly you're telling women to be the opposite of what I think men want. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right? It's a self-perpetuating problem. And then you say that and they, oh my God, Candace is a horrible human being. And I'm looking at you going, I'm not a dude. I wouldn't date you.
So,
there are crappy men in the world, right?
Topic right there. So I want to show you guys something congruent with that conversation there. So let's go ahead and take a look.
There's no place in Black America you can go and find the 4 essential institutions needed for a community: bank, school, supermarket, hospital. And you know why that's ironic? Last year, Black America in 2016, we spent $2 billion on Air Jordans, $4 billion on liquor and alcohol, $600 million on fast food, and we bought twice the amount of Mercedes Benzes as white America, although white America has twice the wealth of Black women. So the question becomes, what is it about the Mercedes Benz that makes it so attractive to African Americans even when they can barely afford it? And it's because it's a status symbol. And one thing we know about oppressed people, when you can't enjoy true freedom, you surround yourself with the symbols of that freedom. Absolutely. And that's why the Louis bag is so important. That's why our children will kill for Air Jordans. It's not the sneaker, it's what it represents. And if I believe I'm worthless, that means I can only add value to myself by what I put on my body as opposed to what I put in it.
Awesome. So here's where I'm coming from. All right, in putting those two videos together. In this American corporation that we're in, right? This United States of America Incorporated business monopoly board that we play on. Right, money is equated to power. It gives you the ability to move things, make things happen in many different ways, right? And as we see in our society, there's a small sect of people who have lots of money that are able to puppeteer and make things happen here in America. So when I look at this, and you know, you can go look up some of the numbers yourself from Doc here, but we have the money as a people, right? But when it comes to actually directing that money in a particular direction, in order to make what we need as a people happen in this country, we don't, because we're stuck in the woes of what society has created for us, right? We're stuck in the TV, the radio, the newspaper, the social media, and cell phone advertising of what society wants for us. Therefore, we take all the money that we get and we focus on showing it off. And we focus on falling into these societal woes, as opposed to, you know, taking those monies and putting it where it really needs to go in order to make life better for us, or for each individual. You know, we talk about it on the Truth Be Told show, you know, focus on the individual first, and then focus on the family and the community at large, right? So when we really look at this, you know, people hate Candace Owens. You know, she's spitting truth like all the time. You know, it's us that she's trying to fix. Therefore, it's truth about us, right? And that's the thing. People say, "Oh, well, she's whitewashed." Well, then why ain't she talking about what white people need to do? You know what I mean? She's talking about what we need to do, because, I mean, obviously she has a particular passion for people that look like her, right? You know, and I think that people look and they say, okay, well, she's dating a white man, you know, and this, that, and the other. So right there, she's null and void. You know, I mean, I've heard about stories from people on their deathbed that were right in Martin Luther King's circle, you know, and it wasn't always peaches and cream, but doesn't negate the words that came out of his mouth. Doesn't negate his passion for what he was doing. It doesn't negate the realization of maybe a wrongful direction that he was leading people in the end. You know, I don't think his personal ills negate any of that. But, you know, when it comes to any of this stuff, man, you know, I want to kind of close out moving in the thought process of how do people go from how can people separate their emotions of what they feel about a particular person versus the truth that may come from their mouth?
You know, I remember when and this is the Candace Owens piece. It's very interesting. I'm not sure what we do is we listen with our emotions. We don't listen with our intellect, and there's a difference. Intellect, emotions. So this is why this is on top of the emotion, because you're supposed to think here. So let me give you an example. So I remember when Bill Cosby made the statement in the public where all white people can hear, telling black men to be responsible, pull your pants up, start taking care of your kids. Now, these was facts, but black people pounced on him. You know why they pounced on him? They pounced on him saying, why are you airing our dirty laundry all out in America? See, they didn't question the truth or not. They challenged him because of their emotions of what white people would think of them if he makes this statement. You see how that's emotional. The intellect went out the door. So they asked Bill Cosby, and I remember Bill Cosby was at the NAACP. He was at a conference, and they asked him, man, why'd you go and air our stuff out? And he said, listen, you're driving down the road, and you're driving on the road where the bridge is out, and someone hollers, the bridge is out, nigga, or whatever. Do you fucking keep driving because you're mad because he called you a name telling you the bridge is out? Or did you not hear him say the bridge is out? See how emotion make us forget. He said the bridge is out, but we got emotional because he called us a nigga. And so we kept driving. That's where we are. See, people who are listening to Candace Owens are attaching her to their emotions. She's married to a white man. She's airing our dirty laundry out. But if I say, why is it that she said you can't tell us. I don't like her. Well, why? Because it's attached to your emotions. If you cannot tell me intellectually, what did she do or say that harms you as an individual? You see, we hate without justification. You know, if I was to ask, what did he do to you? Like Donald Trump all day. The number one reason a lot of Negroes hate Candace Owens because she was praising Donald Trump. Anybody black praises Donald Trump, you're a sellout. But here's the question. What has he done to you that you can point to that hurt you? Or you can say, well, he talked about the Central Park 5. No, I said you. You can't answer it. So your intellect, your emotion, your thoughts of your don't like him is attached to your emotions. He said this about the Central Park 5, right? So we use the emotion to overshadow the intellect. Damn. Oh, I missed that he gave up this much money. Oh, I missed that he helped a lot of black people. Oh, I missed that he's the one that financed Operation Push with Jesse Jackson. Oh, I missed these parts. You didn't hear none of that. You went straight to Donald Trump's a racist, and the word racist is attached to what? Our emotions. So we get emotionally roused up. Donald Trump's a racist. He don't like black. That's what got people all in the riots and shit, right? Because they know how to turn it down and fuck with our emotions, right? And we don't use the intellect. We don't think. So if I ask the person, why don't you like Candace Owens? You ain't telling me nothing here. You're telling me something here. But then you disregard every facts that she said. Everything. You didn't challenge those facts. Is she telling the truth or not is all I want to know. Fuck what you think of how she lived. The hell would you think that she's married to a white man? I don't care. I'm not in her bedroom. I'm not making her happy. So I don't care how she gets her happiness in the world. I want to know, what did she say that was so wrong that it affect you? And no one gives you that answer. And this is where we are. So when I listen to black people talk about they don't like Candace Owens, all I tell you that all I know I hear is emotion. Just emotional. And this is our problem. And this goes back to the algorithms, you see? Because here's what we follow. And we do not know that the same thing they created in the algorithm is the same technology that they were copying inside the subconscious mind. See, there's a thing called internet. So you put information here, it goes into the atmosphere and goes to another unit and goes down the card to another computer. You know where they got that from? Telepathic communication. By following how we can actually communicate without wars. You can feel my intentions. You can feel my emotions if you are in tune to the person that's in your presence. You can feel it, right? This is how it works. So if I'm thinking a thing, we done talked about this many times. If I'm thinking of something, if I'm putting thought out there, if I'm constantly where you are in life, shows me what you think about most. So if I'm putting that thought out there and I'm putting fight, I want to fight. I just want to hit somebody. I go on the internet and that's all I see is street fight. So it's following me. And if I keep thinking that, guess what? I'm going to be into a fight. Somebody going to hit me in my mouth, or I'm going to hit them in the mouth. Why? Because I'm sending that algorithm, that frequency out there. Next thing you know, I'm in a fight every damn week. Next thing you know, you broke every week. Every week you're living check to check because your own mind says you're broke. And you actually planned that, but you don't know it. This is how algorithms work in computer. If you on your timeline seeing, when you just said that about my timeline is about education. You don't see no garbage, bitch, hole fighting. You don't see that shit on my timeline. And guess what's interesting? I can go on a person's page and I can scroll down and I can say, damn, I never saw that on my timeline. You know why? Because my algorithms are already set for what I put in it, meaning they watch my clicks. They're watching where I'm going. They're watching my likes. They don't see me liking on fights and shit. I don't even stop scrolling when I see a fight. I just keep going. Unless it's a controlled fight like boxing or martial art, then I stop because I'm into that. And guess what? It sends me more of that information. So it's the same thing that is following. So if you don't like Candace Owens and you don't have a reason, you're walking around with an unchecked mind. You need to check your mind and ask yourself why. Because this is when I say that people, we need to check our thoughts. We sit around and believe everything we think, and we're wrong. Joe, you and I have been on the right track since we started this show. We've been against the COVID thing, the shots and all of that. And look where we are. We done had people like, I don't want to mention his name, T something. He had us on a show with doctors and try to think that he was going to help the doctors beat us down. We go in there and just punch doctors in the face and have the doctors questioning their head. Damn, did I just do that?
With facts. With
facts. And he never brought it there. So we and in fact, that show for a minute didn't get aired because we turned that show upside down. So what I'm saying is that you and I have been riding on the same algorithm since very day one. And now when you look, you'll see Fauci's under investigation. This mass shit is gone away. We were on the right track from the very beginning. And so when you look at that behavior, those things, we brought that into our existence. By the way we were thinking 2 years ago, we're still talking about that same thing today. And now we look at us and we say, damn, we were right a year ago when we started the show combating, and people on WLOU was talking against us, and we didn't stop. We didn't give a shit what anybody said. We believed it was wrong, and it's proven that it was wrong. Those of you taking a shot, you was just on the wrong side of the track. That's just that simple. So that's why I appreciate how me and you vibe together, because that's the same algorithms or the frequency we connected with.
Exactly. You know, and it's interesting because, you know, what you said about airing out our dirty laundry, and that's what's happening. I mean, you would think that Ice Cube would have known better. You know, I mean, we shut Ice Cube down as a people. We was totally against it. Why? Because, you know, he went to the Democrats. Democrats said no, not now. Went to Trump. Trump said yes, now. But then we sat there as a people, as a society, and our culture shut him down as he was talking. And the only reason why I say you would think that Ice Cube would have known better is because really what should be happening, folks, is that when our dirty laundry is aired out, a beat should be behind it. All right, it should be a beat behind it. Why? Because that's what the hell happens in all this garbage music that we have today. Anyway, we can air out the dirty laundry as long as there's a beat behind it, and many will flock to it, and they will buy it and make people rich based on us airing out our dirty laundry. So we don't like it when it doesn't have a beat behind it. And good point. Yes. When there's a beat behind it, we love when people air out our dirty laundry when there's a beat behind it. So, man, that's a good point. That's why I say Ice Cube should have known better. He should have put a beat behind it. We would have accepted it if we had put a beat behind it. America, a beat behind it. He should have had a beat behind it. That was the problem all along. If we then
That's a fact.
We'd all
You're
be
right.
$500 million richer, or whatever the case may be, as a culture, as a society, as a melanated community, if in fact Ice Cube had put a beat behind it. So that right there. Hey, that story that you were talking about with Bill Cosby, is that the was that like a comedy skit where he was talking about that? Okay.
No, it was real shit. Yeah, it was real shit when he was telling black men pull their pants up and start taking care of your family. And then next thing you know, black people just pounced on him. And they wasn't mad at the facts. I mean, niggas need to pull their pants up and niggas need to take care of their kids. Other majority, not everybody, but other majority. We know we are some sad ass brothers when it comes out here not taking care of our kids. I don't understand a man walking away from his own kid. I remember being in a store one time and I heard a brother mention that his girl's pregnant, but he's hoping she don't have a girl. He said, I hope she don't have a girl because the way I treat these women out here, I don't want nobody treat my little girl like that. I just turned around and looked and said, well, God damn. You know, and so it's really sad we have this mentality, but a lot of our brothers, and this is the condition we're in. The condition we're in that the fathers are not in the house. These are why women are running around with this masculinity because they didn't have a dad. And this is why niggas are running around with their pants down. They ain't taking care of their kids because they didn't have a dad. I don't know why women would even have sex with a motherfucker with his pants down. That just blows my fucking mind. How did he get pussy? And how did he get that shit? You know, how'd you give him some with his pants hanging down? You can tell he ain't nobody, right? And in my days, and I'm only talking from my days, so I just turned 61, by the way. Yay! So, you know, in my day, when I was coming up, you didn't have to tell a boy, a teenager, or a grown-ass man to pull his pants up. That wasn't invented to having your pants down. Women in my days were women. Even the prostitutes had clothes on. Now you got women ain't even prostituting. They're walking around naked with their breast out and ass out, right? They ain't selling nothing. And here's what's interesting. What's interesting, I remember a conversation, and it's very interesting, and this is not a strike against, yeah, it is. So this is a strike against maybe, women who dress a certain way. And so some brother says, damn, you got some fine ass on you, this and that. And so some women are tired of being looked at sexually. And I really get it because all our focus is on is ass. We ain't thinking intellect. But here's the thing. You're walking around with them tight ass shorts. You walking around with that shit showing. And now you don't want nobody to look at you and say nothing. It is like this. If you're wearing a fire suit and you're standing on the corner and there's a house on fire, you think that person's going to run up to you and say, hey, I have a fire down here. And you look at him and say, I'm not a fire person. Say, well, why are you wearing a fire suit? So here you're wearing prostitute clothes and you're wondering why he wants sex on the first night. Because you're looking like that. You're giving that up. That's why. And so women in my day just did not dress like that. I'm sorry. You can go look at old pictures in the 60s and the 70s. Women just were not like that. They weren't doing all the makeup with the lashes and all. It just was different. So fault me from having a mindset of the 60s and the 70s thrust forward to these days, watching what I'm seeing today. Women don't know how to be women. Women don't understand their femininity, and then men don't understand their masculinity at the same time, running around here, you know, doing whatever. There are some brothers out here just having sex with women just to have babies, knowing damn well you ain't gonna take care of them. So back then, manhood was attached to family. Back then, as you did a statistic on how many we were marrying back then to compare to what we're doing now. Men was looking for families. Now men are just looking for sex. And so that same algorithm, that frequency of wanting sex, they're finding it from women who are dressing like sex. And this is how the connection happens.
Absolutely. Hey, y'all out here trying to be like Nick Cannon, creating tribes, but you ain't got the money to afford it.
Ain't got the money. Broke his head.
Exactly. Here, you know, and this goes along with what you're talking about here. You know, and we asked this question even before, like you said, how these niggas get pussy. Keep trying to do each other up. I'm gonna sag all the way down. I beat all y'all. Look, I'm really sagging.
Oh, man.
You know, it's ridiculous when you think about it.
Man.
But you know, one of the comments, you know, how does you know this it'll stop when people stop giving that energy.
Hey, listen,
you know, women stop paying attention to that.
Women can make that stop at the drop of a dime if they stop paying it attention.
Yep.
Men will change if you stop liking that shit. If you start liking the intellect, and not because he's got curly hair or his pants down or he's 40-year-old rapper, whatever it is, if you stop liking that shit, you stop giving that shit attention, men will change because they can't get the booty if they don't get it right.
Exactly. Say that one more time. They can't get the booty
if they don't get it right.
If they don't get it right.
It can be that free. Y'all giving it away too goddamn free. You're giving it away. You should make a motherfucker build your house or do something very extraordinary to get the booty.
Exactly. Look, I'm gonna stand right here on this piece of land. Your ass build this house. When you finish, I'll give you some ass. That's it right there. When you finish, I'll give you some ass. All right. I'm waiting. Hey, but you know what? I gotta make sure I point this out right here. I love Tim Barnum. He's a Caucasoid brother that watches the different shows that we have, and he said they dislike Candace Owens because she is putting racism in the back seat as to what plagues Black America. So in essence, white people ain't the boogeyman no more.
No.
Okay. They're not. They never really were.
No.
Especially after we became free. But yes, I get it. You know, there were institutions in place that continue to beat us down and beat on us. It's 2022, about to be 2023. Folks, white people ain't your boogeyman no more. When you get stopped, guess what? If you just act normal, and talk to an authoritative figure as you should, guess what? You're gonna get that same energy and respect back to you.
Now, people would think that and hear that and say, that sounds like I'm submitting to him. And what they don't understand, again, since we're talking algorithms and frequency, you can have anyone eating out of the palm of your hand if you move your emotions and use your intellect. It's just that simple. Let me tell you a story I told my stepson, who got out of prison, and he was going to see the parole officer. And the parole officer was always messing with him with urine tests. Where's your job? I need this. So he said, man, my parole officer is trying to send me back. I said, well, yeah. I said, did you go in there looking like you look now? Did you go in there with that mad look on your face, with that mean mug and your pants hanging down? Yeah. But if you walked in there and you look around and say, how you doing, sir? How's your day? And just look around, something you can compliment. Is that your family? Man, you got a beautiful family. You can turn an evil person upside down just like that, and they're eating out of your hand. He went in there the next meeting. He went in there and he changed his attitude, and the parole officer just saw something different in him. Didn't ask for his urine, didn't mess with him no more, because he came in with a servant attitude. And people may not like that, but a servant attitude gets you to win. And then you will have them eating out of your hand so you can move forward in life. But if we're walking around with this tainted information, then that's what we'll get. So what he is saying about what Candace have done was diminish racism and made your fault of why you can't achieve your problem, not the boogeyman. And that piece there is what we need to work on. Black people really need to work on themselves and not focus on distraction outside themselves. Yes, if someone didn't give you a job, I need the last goddamn job. Why do you stop and act like, oh, he's done stop me from getting? No, go get another one. If someone don't like you because of the color of your skin, if they are mentally ill, go somewhere else. But don't stop. And that's the key. Continue to triumph. Continue to move forward. Move over here if they don't like you living in that neighborhood. Go into another damn neighborhood. All the neighborhoods ain't the same, right? So you got to understand that concept. And once you do that, you will find yourself achieving goals, over and over. And so as myself as a business person, I got business. My company is partner with several businesses, even businesses overseas that make my products custom made for me. Why? Because they're eating out of the palm of my hand and giving me what I want so I can feed my family. You can walk your whole life like that. You literally can walk your whole life and not see racism, not see something that'll block you, not see hatred. You really can if you remove it from your subconscious mind that it's going to happen to you. Once you remove that mentality, it is not saying racism doesn't exist or that concept of racism, but it's over there in someone else's life. It's not in my life. See, I don't see racism. I don't see nobody stopping me from putting products in a store because I'm black. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Right. And so the algorithm that I have in mind is support no matter what color they are, because that's how I view it. So I don't engage into it. I don't allow it to block me and stop me. I have a great credit score. I have tax IDs. I got passports. I got nothing that says I can't have. There's nothing I can't have because I'm black. I'm sorry. There's nothing. There's some stuff I can't do and have because maybe I'm a convicted felon. Yes, but that's not going to stop me from feeding my family and living the kind of life I want. Yeah, I may not be able to be a doctor. Yeah, I might not be able to pass the bar license, but who the fuck want to when I can do this over here? So you got to figure some shit out and not let shit block you from feeding your family and living a prosperous life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's important. You know, everything is perspective. Everything is mindset. It's all about, you know, what you put in here, which will end up coming out here, which will create the here around you. So it's a full cycle, full circle that is a perpetual continuance of energy, ultimately. You know, so it's one of those things. You know, look, I posted in the comments that video of when I got stopped in I think it was Oklahoma. I just bought, you know, BMW in Cali and was driving it back home. And I post that in the comments. So if anybody wants to see what it looks like to, you know, have an officer stop you, and then here I am in another state with 30-day tags on, Cali tags on. So you know what he was thinking. You know, his thought process was, oh, he's smuggling, you know, a ton of some good back home to Kentucky, right? You know, and then he invited me in his trunk and said, all right, well, come on back here. You know, this is where I do business, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, originally, hey, why do I need to come to your truck to talk to you? Now, there was many people in the comments who said, hey, you shouldn't have did that. You ain't have to go do that, this, that, and the other. Okay, so I tell him no. And next thing you know, we've got 2, 3, and 4 other cop cars showing up. Now I got the personalities and attitudes of anywhere from 4 to 8 different officers that I now have to deal with for one little old me. Nah. Believe me, I'm good, bro. So I went ahead, went back, had that conversation. But the whole time, I was never thinking about, I wasn't thinking negatively. I didn't give him any aggression. I didn't say, officer, you know, why this, why that? My original statement, well, why do I have to come back to your vehicle? He said, that's just the way I do business. I said, all right, cool. I pressed the Facebook Live button. Why? Just in case everything I said was wrong. So went on back there, had a great conversation. This was a 20-minute video. I'm not going to play it here. Y'all feel free in the comments there to click on that and check out that video and see what it looks like to sit there, have a great conversation. Hey, I asked him about his family, about his life, and about what was going on with him. Why? Because first thing was I needed to do was to humanize myself. And let him know that I'm just like him.
Right.
I got family, I got work, I got job. And then I know if he was sitting there thinking, he's driving a BMW. So I told him what I do for money, you know, gave him that. So now, you know, I'm piling things on top to let him know that I'm a regular person out here and just doing what I do. I'm passing through, bought a vehicle, decided to drive it home, and this is what's happening. And guess what? No issues. He let me out. Yes, the reason why he initially had me come in that truck was because there was a drug dog in the cage behind it. So if that drug dog had started going ham when I got in there, that would have gave him probable cause to now search the car.
Correct. And that's the purpose he brought you to the car.
Absolutely. And, you know, I didn't have to worry about that. And the little bit of snack goodies that I brought home from Cali were safe in my glove box as they needed to be. So it was what it was. But, hey, it's all good, man. This has been a great show. Love it. Love the conversation. You and I can just get on here and just rock a mic all day long. It is beautiful, but, you know, we're coming to an end here. Shout out to everybody who jumped in and participated. I'm going to challenge everyone to just look at things from different perspectives, you know. Don't even take the things that we say and you know, use it as truth. Just go out there, research, look at things from a different perspective and say to yourself, well, what if this? And look at it from that perspective. You know, what if that? And then look at it from that perspective. You know, that gives you wisdom, right? You know, that gains you wisdom in looking at things from different perspectives and having an understanding. You know, you don't always have to agree with us. That's cool. You know, but we love you just the same. So, you know, John and I don't always agree on everything, but we respect each other just the same. We probably agree on most things because that's the way the frequency goes. But, you know, when it comes to that in general, then, you know, just look at things from different perspectives, folks, and try, because I'm telling you, there's a life out here that a lot of people, especially our people, are missing. Simply because of our mindset. We all sitting here walking beside each other, see each other. It's you, it's me, it's you know, we like same people or whatever, but we're living different lives all within the same space, all because of mindset. So, you know, again, folks, there's a life out here that a lot of people are missing, a happy life that doesn't involve you always being in survival mode,
right?
Feeling threatened all the time. You know, there is a life out there that exists like that, and I challenge you to find it. Simply take a week and just put nothing but positive stuff in your mind. Cut the TV off if that's the case. Cut the radio off if that's the case. I don't hear about a lot of events going on in the city. That's the only thing I miss about the radio, because some things like going hanging out at Waterfront or whatever events that's going on, they're all announced on the radio. But I don't listen to the radio because I love to choose what I listen to, you know. But with that in mind, I challenge anyone to just try to flood your brain in a week with nothing but positive videos. You can go on YouTube and just type in motivation, and you'll find plenty of videos. And just listen to that every morning. Listen to at least one motivating video every single morning for a week's time, and I promise you, things will change for the better for you, your perspective, your mindset, everything. And with that being said, folks, hey, it's another week. Any last words before we go?
Yeah, just to add on to what you were saying, to always challenge what you think and don't believe everything you think, and always look at things with an objective mind. The way you learn is with an objective mind. You can't learn nothing if your mind is closed and you believe everything you think. I'm sorry, you ain't learning nothing. You're only perpetuating the same cycle of your life. You got to be willing to challenge those thoughts by being objective. And this is what we're talking about. If you don't like something we said, it's because you haven't challenged it. And so because you're stuck in with your belief, not to saying we're right, but the point is that if we just talking facts, what you got to do is go research the facts and see if we're right or not by challenging it. So what you're doing is you're challenging your own thought pattern, right? And so that's the key. Having an objective mind will get you far in life, just objectively. And lastly, write down your goals. Where you want to be 5 years from now? Write it down. Write it down every day as though it exists right now. And if you start writing down your goals, I guarantee you in 1 week, you'll feel different about what you think of yourself and your goals. And I challenge that to come back and next week and say, John, I've been writing down my goals and ain't shit happened. Just come back and tell us nothing happened, and just write down your goals. Write down what it is you want and how you look when you're having it. And in 1 week, I bet you any kind of thing that something is letting you know to validate your thinking, whether it is on Facebook, whether it is someone saying something. I guarantee you somebody's going to say something that is related to whatever it is you wrote down as your goals.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I tell you what, folks, again, lots of great information on this show. Saturday mornings, there's lots of people that we appreciate that tune in and all of that stuff. Look at Frank said, I lost so-called friends over that C-word stuff. You know, and that's truth. I mean, you know, it created a strain on a lot of families as well. But at least throughout it all, you have the ability to wake up on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and listen to the Tipping Point Morning Show. So until next week, folks, we will see you then again right here, same place, same time, 9 a.m. Saturday, Eastern Standard Time on the Tipping Point Morning Show. Peace.
Peace.